Hey guys, my name is Seniac and welcome back to another episode of CanalTown here in City Skylines. But today guys, we bring in more tourism to the city. Now we've got a lot of tourism already going on. We bought a lot of hotels, stuff like that with the recent DLCs. But today we're going to bring even more tourism. It's the first time CanalTown is going to get a international destination for tourism. And it's pretty much what every major city has, and it's where I go a lot every time I go to a new city, and I don't know why, but it's a zoo. I mean, I know why, to see the animals. But guys, welcome back to the episode. We're building the zoo, the CanalTown Zoo. We're going to have all the exotic animals, like that exotic deer, and that exotic cow, and that exotic native species called the squirrel. All in CanalTown, boys. They're going to travel far right now. And if you're enjoying CanalTown, please make sure you smash that like button down below. Guys, there's actually not many episodes of this series that are going to be left right now. And we will be destroying it at some point. If you want to see this on the Steam Workshop, let me know in the comment section down below. But we are back, boys. We are back. Now, we currently have multiple kind of like city parks in here, which that's classed as like one of the tourist destinations. We have two nature reserves, one over here and one over there, and we have one theme park as our adventure park just over here as well. Well, the one thing that we do not have in the big list of potential items we can squeeze in is the zoo. Now, giving it some thought, this is going to provide a lot of tourist destination stuff, but there is also like one of the kind of the things that you can put within a sea life enclosure by the waterfront. So I've kind of had to think to myself, where do I have space to build a zoo that's within a centralized location, that's easier to get to, great public transport networks, and near the waterfront? And looking around it, there's not really many spaces kind of remaining, apart from this area over here. Now, it is on the end of this industrial, but it's separated by a highway. But then it kind of transitions over to this big commercial area. We've got the university here as well. And for public transport, we've got a kind of a couple of metro lines that are nearby. The canal route running nearby as well. I could, if I wanted to, add more stops, and I don't know if I'll do that because the way they enter in. But they're only going to enter from this area here. What am I on here right now? I'm on airports. What's going on, boys? What's going on? Add the entry here. So they're only got to walk down here to two of the ferry stops. Short distance to a metro line. I think the next one of that is just over here as well, so it's quite nearby. And depending on how far they want to walk, there's nothing really on the doorstep apart from the ferry lines, but they'll walk that far. That should be perfectly fine. So if I want to implement that here then, we're going to first have to build the entry to the zoo. So the main entrance is a decent sized building, and we're going to try our best right now to get something pretty cool. Now, we'll go for the rural roads, and we'll bring this, continuing in the line of this, that's what I'm going to do, so it kind of comes off at a slight angle, perpendicular to this road here. And we're going to bring it up a little bit, and we'll do another 5 just there, and then we'll go up by 4 by a 4, and then we're going to go up to here, so that should be about, I don't think that's a 5, is it? No, it's a 6, which allows you to do a 3 by 3 bend. So, very, very simple and very, very basic. You get the turning radius for passengers to be dropped off and picked up. And then we'll one-way road it, is what we'll do. We'll one-way road it, and that is your simple drop off and pick up scenario. Place you smack bang in the middle, and now we have the entry to the zoo. Amazing. And we've got all this space down here. I don't know if I'll actually go under here and utilize this space. I'm not too sure. It depends on how much room we kind of really get for this zoo. I think it'd be quite nice to do it. But would it be weird to have a highway tearing through the top of the zoo? I mean, this is CanalTown. It's very urban. It's very urban, boys. So let's get the zoo with path then. And we're going to pick a couple of spots right now. So I'm thinking what I'm going to actually do first is, and if it will allow me to do it, I'm going to run the parallel tool. And we'll go from here just to here. Reason for it is I'm going to come away by some distance. And we'll do the 60 there. And just place that in. And that'll be a nice little marker point for me right now. That will be a nice little marker point. And I'm going to do the exact same thing down here. So to there, then to there. Nice little marker point for where I can have the path running simultaneously along the road. We'll have like a tree border as well, so you won't be able to see any of this. And it will look quite nice. So let's get back to business then. We'll come away. We'll come out about there from the train line here. And we'll go to about there. And we'll just kind of sweetly bend this in. Nothing too crazy, but off it goes. I'm just kind of building my little perimeter. Now if I do a 3x3 just here. To then bring this up. We're going to bring you out. And we're going to do like a little bit of a plus scenario like that. For the many ways in which we can kind of travel in. And I reckon we should try and implement... Is that a 6? That's an 8. 6x6. Straight down. Very good, very good. And I'm going to delete it back from here because we're going to try and get these guys here connected in as well. Now, I reckon we should pick out a point which we'll do there to there. Before to bend round. Now this, I'll use the connection tool. Now, do you know what? I can't remember the last time I built a zoo in this game. So I honestly don't know how big the buildings are, the enclosures, as they're now known, in here, to warrant filling all this space up. But I'm just trying to do a couple of runs with the path to kind of get us to areas. So that will lead up to there. Actually, we'll take this a little bit further. Just to here. We'll come off this as well and run it directly down. And if that bends into here, we'll go back to there. And we'll try and get this now to match this area. So 4x4 bend in. Straight down. Connect you in and we'll just kind of end that there. And then we'll leave it like that for now. Because like I said, I don't know how big these enclosures are going to be. We'll have one that kind of comes up to there, and then one that kind of comes just off here. And then we'll bring a... am I calling these roads? I'm sure I keep calling these roads right now. These are paths, aren't they? Come on, Sydney, get your head in the game, boy. Get your head in the game. We'll do a 5x5 bendy wendy. And then lead this... Do you know what? All the way up to there, which I think will be good. And then we'll do something within this area. But we've got like a perimeter road... perimeter path. So hopefully we can get some stuff in. So let's first then build the kind of the points of interest for the guests. We're gonna go designate the zoning of the area first. Right, paint all this in. We'll go quite big because you never know how wide we're gonna take all of this. Straight down. Bam, 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 bam. Okay. So we'll get the little plaza in, and we'll probably get multiples of these in, to be honest with you. Right, if I put that one there, then I'm going to come directly off the side of it, and then running up just like that. Very good. We then got the Zoo Cafe. So we'll get one there and down here. So we're creating like 2 central locations. We got the souvenir store, drop one there. We'll drop one there. We have then the restrooms, we'll drop it just here. And we'll drop this just here. So nothing too fancy, just nice and basic and simple. So, we start with some of our enclosures then. We've got them first. Oh, I forgot, some of these have their own path going around them, don't they? So let me just place you in. Do you have path going around yourself? You do, yes. Okay, so this is interesting. So if I start with spinning this right round... And if I went like this, now there's a reason I'm going to do it like this. Because you can get the path connections, you can kind of come off them. And you can kind of utilize them to go in different directions. So come off that there and connect it all in. Everything's all now intertwined. So if I go for a bend here. So it's about there. It's all now connected. Glorious. Won't feel like much, but you just wait, boys. You just wait. Well, I was wondering then, what's going on here? But all the mooses are moving from where I originally placed it. They're all now walking over to the enclosure. That's so weird. It is weird, isn't it? Now, this one doesn't actually have anything, any connecting stuff. This is our birdhouse, which I'll squeeze in just here. So drop you in just there. We then have the antelope enclosure. So we're going to bring this one a little bit further. I feel like we need more path and walking ways, don't we? So if I went... So that area... Okay, so if I go to here... Create a glorious little bend just there. There we go. And then we should be able to bend this right round as well. So that's a 10 by 10. So you get a nice little drag path there. I keep trying to call it a road, don't I? So we get the antelope enclosure. So place that right in the corner here. Then we got the bison enclosure, which also has its own paving system, which will drop just here, which means I can connect to it like this and like this. And then we'll just do a little bit of terraining right now to get this to the same kind of level going around. And then we'll smoother this at the bottom. Smoothing at the top. There we go. It might change the water level slightly, but we get away with it. We get away with it. So got you in. Now we've got the amphibian and reptile house. Very, very important building, which we'll place... Ooh, actually, where should I place this? I might place this just here. There we go. We've then got the Tarsier house. What's a Tarsier? An exotic type of primate with special needs. I don't think I've ever heard of that. Is that a new one, or is that always been in the game? Or has it been renamed? Wasn't it just called like the primate house at some point? Or the flamingo enclosure. Alright, we're going to throw down the flamingo enclosure in. What hotspot we using? I might just kind of like randomly drop it in and connect some path to it. But then I might utilize this. So if I went here with this, we should then be able to connect you in and then go to about there to end that. Nice. So flamingo enclosure is now in. We've now got the elephant enclosure, which I think this is where we now start to get a little bit bigger. And no space really over here. There is definitely space over here though. So I might put that just on the corner here. We've got the sea life enclosure, which I was kind of hoping we can kind of squeeze it over here, but it's a case of where's the best area? I mean, we need more space, don't we? So here is looking like the best space, even though the ferry lines are going to run through it. But I feel like that would be like quite a cool little feature. I mean, there's nothing stopping me creating a little pool in here. What does it look like? It is a... Oh, it's actual wildlife in the water. Is that weird? I mean, the ferry line does go through the gap here. So, I mean, it's quite a little bit of a bonus for using the ferry line. You get to see a whale or a dolphin or a stingray or whatever it is. That's kind of cool, isn't it? We'll roll with it. It's weird, but we'll roll with it. And then obviously we'll connect the path to it. Very nice, very nice. Where are we up to now anyway then? The giraffe enclosure, so quite a long one. And, oh, this has its own path as well, doesn't it? Yeah. So if we can try... And, okay, so if I delete this here... And then get the giraffe enclosure in. I'm wondering if we can get it like fixated in the middle area of this. So that connects to there, and that obviously goes into there. And it becomes part of the path. You just go up and over the bridge. Oh, this zoo's looking pretty cool. I ain't gonna even lie to you. So then we got the Monkey Palace. Oh, this is what I was thinking of earlier, wasn't it? Yeah, the Monkey Palace. Alright, and what else we got? Sorry, we got the Rhino Enclosure. I feel like I get the Rhino Enclosure here. It's a little bit bigger to fill the gap. Monkey Palace will get just there. And then we've got finally the Lion Enclosure. Oh, the lions and tigers, boys. Now I'm going to place that at an angle just here. So we can then run in with it. So if I came out there and I went down into there. So if I delete this little section, hopefully we can get all this kind of connected in. I mean, it's not perfect, but it will do the job. It will do the job. So that's all good then. We got some quite cool items in there. We'll place down some like rocks and stuff now. So let's go to the landscaping. So we'll drop a couple of rocks in to kind of add a little bit of a level of detail to some of this before we go crazy with the trees. Alright, spin that one right round. And you know what? I like doing this on like the majority of my cities, is creating like a little entryway like this with that style of rock. I always think it looks really cool. And then we'll throw a few more in here and there. La di da di da, la di da di da di da di da. Alright, get a few around here, and we have a couple of different like other variations as well. So we can create like points of interest. So the entry of this becomes the end of that paved road. Any other little ones that end like that? Yeah, this one. We have this one here. I like using it. It's like a cave system. Just ends those areas quite nice. I have the big deep hole variation as well. A few other little rocks in between. And there we go. So that's it all there without implementing any of the trees. It's quite... out of everything that we've built so far, that's got to be the largest span of land that takes up for like this type of park style thing that we've implemented. It honestly takes the majority of the space. So we'll quickly kind of scan around it right now with the water. It won't be perfect, but it'll just be, you know, adequate enough for some coverage. So this should take care of our water systems, water needs and all that jazz. We just need a PowerPoint connection. Now it does mean awkwardly we're going to have to get some connections in via power lines, unless... I'm trying to glance around right now, see if anything that kind of interest we could kind of squeeze in. If I get to the zoo section again, you know this smallish stuff like this? Like if I grabbed like the sign, for example. Now, I don't think this passes on power, does it? No. What was I thinking? But what I could do is I could implement more of the park restrooms, the zoo restrooms around. And that's enough to pass on, in some areas obviously, the ability to connect up via the restrooms. Now we're not all fully connected over here, which is why I can scream in some more restrooms, and that should then create the connecting spot. So that all connects. We've got to bridge the gap just here. So guess what? More restrooms. Already added to the many restrooms. Oh, that doesn't even reach. Okay, we'll get one of those another center bits in. And there we go. That creates our connection. So many restrooms. At least we're handling the public needs. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Now, the entry to the actual zoo, there seems to be some traffic lights here, which we'll quickly turn off. Turn those puppies off right now. Let it do its thing. Has anyone... It's called the High Animal World. Charge top dollar. It's quite expensive for us to run and maintain this. And then we'll implement some trees right now as well. So I always forget what brush it is, and I should really pay attention to what brushes I'm using. Right, that will do me. Wonderful, boys, wonderful. I'll bring the strength down slightly. Okay, it doesn't want to let me do it, so the strength will remain the same. So I'll go quite heavy on the entry area. Because this is where it gives the... Not only the zoo ultimate privacy. Can I really not turn that down? Oh, I can. Not only gives the zoo privacy and stops people getting a free view of the animals, so they gotta pay for a ticket. But also reduces noise pollution as well for the animals in the zoo. So quite dramatic in reality. Quite dramatic with the trees here. But I think it's all needed in reality to make it feel like it's out in the sticks. And it kind of ends the peninsula up here fairly well. I'm a fan of it. I'm a fan. I'm a Dyson, big fan. So yeah, we might see more people utilizing the ferry lines to get over here. So we're already getting people coming in. It's already starting to generate a little bit of cash. It'll take some time before we see big dollar bills coming in. But yes, I think that's a great little addition. I feel like it's a great little addition. Now, if I wanted to, I could maybe get like a little metro stop a little bit further up. And kind of connect these guys to it. But I think it's too much. We'll just leave it like that. I don't think we're seeing vast amount of people going over here to kind of warrant me building a metro stop. But very good. Now, I always forget which is the one for the car parks. I used to have like a car park mod back in the day, boys. I think I need to get that again at some point. Right, where do we get the buildings for it? I always, I've forgotten where they were. I built some previously. Is it within here? Car parks. I mean, worst case scenario, I'm going to have to use the Find It mod. Show me the car parks. I feel blind. Aha, there they are. There they are, boy. Found them in the end. Now that will fit perfectly within here. Okay, the big one's a little bit too much. Nice, sweet little car parking. Just get it a little bit more centralized. There we go. So all the cars from in the building now move to the actual car park itself. Gives us so much more room for activities. Yeah, look at the hordes of people walking around. They must have just got off a public transport stop at the same time. So, I'm still on the move it tool or not, yeah. How are we doing now then? We're still, again, waiting for the vast amount of people to come in. More cars can now arrive to the zoo because we've got a car park implemented. So, I think they might fill this first before they start filling this again. But it's all glorious. It's all glorious. I'm impressed. So, with that said then, it does potentially give us the ability to maybe add in some additional hotels. So people can stay near the zoo. Now, I don't really know what will be the best one for them. Now, this type of hotel requires nature, which is quite high here, and obviously some sightseeing. So these little rental cabins would technically be perfect. It would be perfect, but it's a case of where would you get it? Or do I optimize it for maybe something a bit bigger? Now, this type of hotel here requires some shopping, some business, which is nearby, but I don't know whether it's close enough to say, yep, pull it here. But I can build around it. I feel like this would be a good spot for that type of hotel. Now, we do have a road there, but I've got to keep these roads now technically all separate. So, if I go back to them rural roads. Rural. They are all rural. The more you say the word rural, the weirder it becomes. Try it yourself at home right now. Bit of homework for you guys. Bit of homework for you. Right, if I place that there. Now, this hotel in question doesn't have in the surrounding area everything that it kind of technically requires. Right, I'll put it there. It's maybe a little bit too close. So select this road and you. Oh, wow, big lag, boys. Right, so I'm going to place it just here. Now, what I'm going to do is we're going to bring that road connected down to here and then delete it. Oh, no, I didn't need to delete it because I won't be able to do a bend anyway. And I bring that down so far and connect it in. So it's got this weird perimeter outer road, which kind of feels like it doesn't really make too much sense. Like that. It's all very close-knit by. Damn, this lag's getting bad now, isn't it? Which should still work out for us. We do need to add a few little bits and bobs around it. So this requires a lot more stuff than we've currently got going on for it right now to make it even profitable to the most part. Now we can do... you can start conventions and stuff. That's interesting. Right, maybe we do need to kind of get this nearby in a better situation. But what I was going to do anyway is come off this road. Because that can run directly under anyway. It's direct connectivities. Just kind of come off it ever so slightly. So we can create like little connecting roads. Right, it all feels a bit funky at the moment. Give it a little bit more of the water. And we're going to combine a little bit of shopping and a little bit of office. So you got a little business taken care of. You got some shopping taken care of. We're hitting all the marker points that it requires. Now, hopefully that's enough to kind of drag the electricity over here. So, I mean, sightseeing is not very good either. Considering the zoo is so close, the sightseeing doesn't really pick up that well. But what I could do is maybe add a few additional bits and bobs in. I'm trying to see if anything tickles my fancy. The business park, boys. The business park. It's still all out of the radius, isn't it? The floating gardens. They float too far out. Too far out, boys. The observational tower. It feels like quite a structure that does, doesn't it? Right, if I put that there, and then in return, we place down a car park. Do these provide anything? They provide some entertainment value. So I could build like a large car park within the vicinity. Just there. That sucks up a few people. And what an observation. I mean, it feels kind of weird to be pulling it straight there. But I'm just trying to see if I can kind of bulk this up. It provides the sightseeing, so the shopping and the business now need to kind of increase. So I could charge, again, top dollar and see if I can make it turn a profit. But the shopping and the business are now slowly being moved in. Imagine stopping in the zoo, that, stopping in the hotel that overlooks the zoo. That would be nice, wouldn't it? That would be really nice. Right, car parks are all full over here by the looks of it. So hopefully this starts to fill up. Maybe, who knows? But then again, we've got this big car park over here too, which is also getting filled up. So that's good to see. So the business is starting to increase a bit. Shopping will increase. Again, I can kind of help out to kind of bulk it up a bit more. Get some shopping around the actual hotel. Shopping on your doorstep, mate. Should increase the numbers. Alright, bring the price down a bit so we can get more guests stopping, because I feel like we're losing a little bit more money. Is the profit changing? Oof. I feel like it's getting worse. How can it get worse? We need more guests here first, don't we? But whether or not it makes money, I don't mind too much. It awkwardly overlooks. I've kept this road as free as possible for the traffic. But yes. It's all good. How are they crossing here? Have I set this up to do this? Somehow we've lost that ability there. Because that's what caused us big issues last time. So I've got to be a bit careful about that. Right, anyway. Anywho. Right, what's this hotel saying? It's starting to get a little bit of shopping right now, which that's the lowest I've seen the loss so far. Not to say that we're going to make profits soon, but you know, it's not the lowest I've seen it. As we try and bulk it up a bit more and get more stuff going on. Get these numbers a little bit higher. Should be all good. They're increased slightly. I ain't going to focus too much on that because it's not what we're here for. Wow, the zoo's making profit. Okay, I'll be honest with you, I was not expecting that because it is normally technically quite hard to do because of the actual expenses going out for it. But that's glorious. A lot of awkward stuff going on surrounding the zoo, but it's kind of worked out in the end. Now, last episode we did workings with the actual cargo airport, which for the most part right now feel like it's subsided with the issues. A lot of active flights coming in for here, but only time will tell whether that has kind of worked out or not. But having a multiple entry right now seems to have died down a little bit, but it also could mean that, I mean, I could be having a moment where there's less imports coming in. So, you know, it's hard one to kind of work out. Hard one to kind of work out. Right, we're actually getting close to making a profit on that building, on the hotel. So if I really wanted to add a little bit more in, these are my options. I want to keep this free though, so they've got a good view of the zoo. I want to at least keep all that free. So yeah. I mean, I could change the price to 30. Will it do much for us? Will those numbers change? By many pennies? Not really. I can also do all this stuff as well. Business conference. Get a 20% tourist. I can do a press thingy. Get more boost there. Which, I don't know if that brings more money in. But I could always do one. Let's do a press conference. So it ends in 106 days. You get a tourism boost by 30%. Does that mean it then fills the hotel with more guests? Because by that logic, you then got to hope that the money you make a week with the days that remain is more money than it costs to run this event. It's kind of what you're hoping for in reality, isn't it? It really is. So I put these back down to 25. Because the higher you do it, the less guests you're going to get. Because you're starting to price yourself out of the area. But at 25, does it change much? I mean, you get more guests coming in, obviously. So your occupancy rate is increases. But I don't know. But either way, we've got all the shopping now in there. The only problem is now is the offices. Offices are the problem. Offices are the problem. And that's probably as far as I'm going to push it. No more after this point, guys. No more. No more. Business. More business locations. Yeah. We'll see how it gets on. I'm so fixated on that when I don't need to be. Are we still making profit here? Big profit, boys. Big, big, big profit. And it will just keep making more as we keep leveling up the zoo anyway. So it all should work out fairly well. Guys, we're going to end it here. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, smash that like button down below. And until next time, I'll see you all soon. So, goodbye.